And access works. All right. Looks like we are live. We are live.
Perfect.
Jessie, how are you guys doing?
Good.
How are you?
We're doing great. Doing fantastic. It's a little bit of a rainy weather here in Missouri/Kansas. How's it looking in your neck of the woods?
It's sunny, but it got cold the last 2 nights.
Which I like.
No, I need my heat and my humidity.
We got one spring chicken and one person who likes the cold. So yep. I bet the thermostat in your guys' place is constantly on the move, huh?
Yeah.
Always.
Either that or I'm always bundled up in sweats and blankets, and it'll be 100 degrees outside and I'll have a blanket on.
And the AC will be on. It'll be super cold, and then she'll have the fireplace on downstairs.
Yeah. That's funny. Well, looks like we got some people watching us now. So welcome everybody. This is the fourth installment of Bushnell Live. With me are two of probably the most well-known shooters. Can I say the fastest shooters in the industry, or at least that I know of? Casey Eusebio and Jessie Harris
on this live video right now.
That's true. Yeah.
Who can dispute us? If I say you're the fastest, right?
There you go.
And it's on the internet, so it must be true.
It's definitely. That's how I verify everything. If I type it into a search engine or YouTube and it says accurate, then I know I'm good to go. Hey, before we get started, I know it's on your guys' hearts and minds, but we did want to give our condolences to the Moser family. Unfortunate for those of you who may not be aware, Mike Moser, an officer with the Overland Park Police Department, was killed during duty just a few days ago. And this obviously really rocked the community, and it rocks us very much, Bushnell and the team Bushnell, because Mike's wife, Corinne, was one of our ambassadors. So I will share a few details. I know there's been some people asking some questions about how they can contribute. So we wanted to share a few of these, and then we'll, of course, have some of this information posted online. So for those who are curious, starting Sunday here at 8:30, the Kansas City has asked everybody to salute to blue. So if you have a blue light on your front porch in your business, turn them on and leave them going. It's kind of a little fitting, if you know Mike, that this is happening at the start of National Police Week. So not only a shout out to all of Mike's contributions to our community, but for all the officers across the nation. On May 12th at between 4 to 6 p.m., there will be an open visitation at the Overland Park Convention Center. And then on Wednesday, May 13th, the actual funeral and procession will happen there again at the Overland Park Convention Center. Of course, as we all know, dealing with this unfortunate incident and then compounded by the COVID pandemic, there's a lot of things up in the air. So please stay close to, Facebook, social media. The Overland Park Police Officer Foundation is doing a fantastic job of keeping everybody informed of what's going on. At the bottom of the screen, you'll see there's a lot of great organizations that have started fundraisers, but the Overland Police Officers Foundation there at that link, you can go there and contribute. And then I know you guys know, you've seen a lot of people in the industry that have started GoFundMe pages and places where people can donate to the family. So our hearts and minds are with Corinne and Mike's family and everyone affected. So we hate to start it off on such a sad note, but we definitely felt that it was good to help get the word out. So people who would like to contribute and however they can to please do so.
Our condolences to Corinne and her family, and just it's such a horrible thing to happen. But when you see the community really come together, that's it's a little bit of a silver lining in such a negative situation. But we send our condolences to her and her family.
And we talked about this a little bit, between the three of us, that I think that's one of the reasons why we've stayed in this industry so long is because of the tremendous amount of support there is and people rallying together for causes. And it's hard pressed to think of another industry that can band together as quickly as they can and that will go above and beyond to help out anybody in need. So I know it makes me very proud to be here, and I'm sure you guys feel the same way.
Likewise.
Absolutely.
So again, we got some people chiming in with their condolences. Bobby Haynes, condolences to fallen officer and Mike Moser. So we really appreciate everybody who's reached out to us, who's reached out to the family, and we'll try to update as more information comes available. So Not to begin this on, as I said, I hate to share such news, but we definitely wanted to help put the word out. So how are you two doing? I mean, you guys have been under a little bit of quarantine. So how are things? How are you making out?
We've been good. We were talking about this the other day. This is the longest we have gone since we started shooting long time ago that we haven't shot. It's been, the last match we shot was Australasia.
In the Philippines in November.
November of 2019. And we're now in May of 2020. I have never gone so long and not
shot a competition.
Or competed.
So
it's a lost feeling.
Do you have the itch? Do you just kind of have the twitch? You're walking around the house with kind of a nervous trigger finger, a little bit?
Yeah. Well, at least to showcase and be able to compete at the highest level. I mean, it's different when you're out practicing and training, but when there's something on the line where, a championship, a national world championship's on the line, then
I miss that feeling.
Yeah, you're not getting that adrenaline rush. So
yeah. So is it just that? I mean, if you had to sum it up, is it the competition? Is it the enjoyment of the sport? What's the driving factor behind both of you guys, and why you've had such a long tenured shooting competitively?
It's all of it.
Yeah, I think it's everything wrapped into one. I knew from an early age that this is what I wanted to do, and there was nothing else that would satisfy that hunger. I just had to find a way to make it happen. And I think we've both been very fortunate in being able to make a career out of this in this industry. And, we've seen a lot of things change over the years, and different shooters come and go, and different divisions added to the sports. I mean, everything changes constantly, but every year it's just that hunger rebuilds to start training again and get out on the range and to just go and try and do the best to your ability and perform. I mean, it's such a competitive drive. You can't stifle it for sure.
Makes you feel human. It makes you feel like you're alive. The moment that, your hands don't shake, or you don't feel your heart pumping or your knees shaking. That's the moment I don't want to shoot anymore. I've done this for 24 years. And how long you been shooting for?
I don't want to say. Somebody will do the math.
Okay.
I think this is my 20th season, or hopefully will be my 20th season if we get to shoot.
And you still get nervous, and that's what makes you feel like a human. If you're not getting nervous, there's no point in doing it.
I still get nervous first stage every match.
Yeah.
So, what have you guys been doing to stay ready for that next one? Do you have this crazy dry fire recipe? Or are you going around the house completely geared up and ready to go, drawing at everything? What's going on?
Okay, so Casey had this bright idea to start a burpee challenge for the month of April.
So dumb.
So that's what we've been doing to stay in shape. Of my best girlfriend, her husband, he was a fitness trainer. And he said, if you did 100 burpees a day for 30 days, it will transform your body. So Casey decides, let's do 100 burpees a day for 30 days. But the even funnier part is everyone on social media jumped on board, and it turned into this big challenge.
It wasn't supposed to be a challenge.
So then they were putting time limits on it, like who could go the fastest, and then who added an extra workout. I'm like, y'all have taken this way too far.
Like I said, that's how I know that we're friends, is because you guys didn't tag me.
You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. It's really challenging.
It was.
Really challenging.
It was.
Did you want to quit at any point, or did one of you have to talk the other one into not quitting?
Yes.
Yeah, every day.
Yeah, every single day.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the first 2 days weren't bad. We were like, oh, this isn't that bad. We can do this for 30 days. Thinking that each day you'd get stronger and it would get easier, and it never once got easier.
It's worse every day. You're like, okay, I can do this. No, it's worse. Your body's in pain. Your heart is burning. Your lungs are burning. You're over it, and you still have to do them.
Yeah.
I don't think I've done any more than 100 burpees in my whole lifetime. So to do 3,000 in a month,
I will never do another burpee again as long as I live.
That's what I was going to ask. Will you ever do another burpee?
Someone that asked me to do a burpee.
There's no point. There's no point.
No.
You've done it all. That's funny.
Yeah.
So you guys mentioned it a little bit ago when we kind of teed this thing up, but I mean, shooting's in your blood. You guys have both had a long tenure. You've been doing it from an early age. Did you ever envision you'd be where you are at now when you first got up there on that firing line and were competing for the first time?
So I have a little bit different backstory than Casey. I mean, we both started shooting because our fathers were competitive shooters. But I didn't start competing until I was 15. I mean, I literally grew up on the range every single day with my mom, my dad, and my brother. But I didn't take to wanting to compete until I was 15. But from that first match, that's all I wanted to do. And I wanted to figure out a way to make a living at it. And through competing and going to higher end matches and then seeing the more modern disciplines, where I saw Casey for the first time at Steel Challenge. He had a lot more hair than he has now.
I had hair like you.
Matt.
I had hair like you, Matt.
I did some digging. I didn't see any pictures with hair like that, but I found some good ones. We'll show you in a minute.
I was a Filipino Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
I had it before it was Justin Bieber. Yeah.
But that's where I saw for the first time that shooters could make a living, because you have the jerseys with company logos. Because I started in Cowboy and you couldn't have that. So I started making that transition, and I set my goals and my sights to be up here, but it was one of those shoot for the stars, and if I land a little short, then I'm still good. But it's been my biggest dream coming true, so thank you.
You kind of glanced over something there. I've got to call it out, but we asked you this about the NRA show a couple of years ago, the Cowboy action shooting, and your Cowboy action name, because you have to have a handle when you shoot Cowboy action, right?
Yep.
And what was yours, Jessie?
Mine was Jasmine Jessie.
I think we've got a photo here. Here's an action.
That is Jasmine Jessie.
That is Jasmine Jessie.
15 or 16 years old.
I like it.
That is an archive right there. I don't know where you got that from.
More?
Have you watched that video, Matt? Have you watched that video?
When I saw that video, I had to watch it. So yes, I did.
That's
unbelievable, right?
That was my proudest moment in my Cowboy days.
Dude, that blows my mind how proficient she was at that.
So Jessie, if KC had a Cowboy action shooting name, what if you went in it? What would his handle be? You can think about
it. Something with brown in it.
Or the Filipino. What's a Western name for an F Western name? The Filipino.
Fanner.
Fanner. I thought you meant like Fanner.
No.
I did find another photo, and I think this is a little bit after that, but I had to show this one, Jessie. Don't hate me too much, but I mean, I thought this was. Here you go. Now this is a few years into the Cowboy action, right? You're at the epitome.
I've signed with Taurus now in that photo. That was a Taurus photo shoot, but my dad's a cowboy at heart. I love Westerns and horses and that culture. So that's deep in my roots.
Nice. And Casey, you had a little bit of a different, upbringing coming up. I mean, you were in this at a very, very young age compared to a lot of shooters. I mean, at the age of 8, you were competing competitively?
Yeah, I'm a first generation American. My parents came from the Philippines. My dad's an avid shooter. He grew up, fighting and shooting on a farm. So he's kind of like a Filipino redneck. So he brought that over to the States, and I started shooting I grew up on the range. I mean, I was on the range in the womb, and I grew up on the range, same as Jessie. Both our dads brought us into the sport, and it was extreme. I came into the sport naturally. Like it was I came by it so easy that it almost felt effortless. And I didn't train hard. After I reached Grandmaster at the age of 12, I didn't train as hard anymore. And
youngest Grandmaster ever, still to this day, record holds.
I was going to say that. That's quite the accomplishment.
And then I joined the Army and shot for the Army Marksmanship Unit. And I thought I was going to stay for 20 years. I stayed for a couple of years, and I said, man, I think I'm ready to go. I don't want to shoot anymore. I want to go do something else. I want to get a government job. I want to go be an air marshal. and my paperwork got messed up twice when I was supposed to be shooing. And then Glock called me and said, "Hey, do you want to shoot for us?" And I was like, I can't get away from shooting. And I referenced back to my dad saying, "Hey, you need to practice because this is what's going to be your livelihood." And as a young teenager, just with long hair, just rolled my eyes. Okay, Dad. And till this day, I can't get away from it. It's ingrained in me and it's in my blood. And as much as I push away from it, it brings me back in. And I absolutely am blessed and love the industry and the shooting sports. And I definitely want to share that more as we get older and educate the masses on, the benefits of sports shooting and hunting and everything that goes along with the Second Amendment, that it's not all taboo. There's a lot of good that comes from it.
So I do have a question in this photo right here. How much do you weigh, and how much does that belt and gun weigh? Because I think it's got to be about half and half there when I look at the two, right?
Look at
so glad that you found that.
Oh my God! So that was,
look at those arms.
My gosh! So that was my first Steel Challenge match. I think I was 9.
Is that Phil?
I was top 16. My first match. I'm 9 years old in the top 16, and top 16 in practical shooting is a big deal.
Yeah.
Sure. So imagine this little 9-year-old kid. That guy was my shooting partner. That's Brian Enos, if you guys don't know. Brian Enos. And I actually beat Brian Enos on my first Steel Challenge match.
Wow.
A little kid.
Middle butt part with that bowl cut.
Yeah, just that Filipino bowl cut.
Yeah. You should write a passage.
We can go back to that. We can show that bowl cut. Yeah, there you go.
Look at those Ray-Bans.
Like, not Ray-Bans, but the ones that darken in the sunlight.
No, not yet. I didn't have that yet.
We can spend a whole episode talking about the fashion.
I'm not much bigger than that.
I know. Yeah, not much changed except for the hair. Really.
Yeah, I just lost hair.
When I first saw that, and I was looking at your shirt, it almost looked like you had the McDonald's emblem on there. So I thought maybe you came straight from McDonald's.
I wish.
So on that same token, here's something a little bit later, I would think.
There you go.
Which one? I don't even know.
You're in the middle. It's got to be you in the middle, right?
I'm in the middle. I'm the guy. Golly.
Your shirt is still really big on you.
Yeah. Nothing could fit me.
God. I love it.
I told you I'd do a little digging. I figured once I gave you that pre-warning, you guys are going to go on your social media feeds and just start deleting everything. So I appreciate that.
That's awesome.
I love it.
That's awesome.
So, Casey, you mentioned it. I mean, starting at the age of 8, master class at the age of 10, youngest grandmaster at 12, and then the World Speed Shooting Championship at 15. I mean, so is this always kind of a shoot fast, drive philosophy, or did you just kind of gravitate into that whole world speed shooting, burn skill targets down?
That's how my dad raised me. I mean, he said, "You know what? I want you to shoot fast first, and then we'll hone in your accuracy." So my first match, I was 8 years. How old was I? Yeah, just turned 8, and a weekend match consists of 6 stages typically. And at the end of those 6 stages, I had 25 misses. 25 misses, but I wasn't last place. I was in the middle because I was so fast. And I was
but you probably had the fastest total time for the match over everybody.
It's pretty quick, but for a little kid. But I realized, okay, I can compete, and now I just need to get a little bit more accurate. 25 misses, that's a lot. And then the next match, I'd be at 20 misses. Next match, I'd be at 15, 10, until I'd get down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then it moved my placement from 50th out of 100th to top 10, top 5, first place. So I mean, I was raised to shoot fast first, and then naturally when I went into Steel Challenge, I just adopted the same philosophy. Now try to hit these plates. You don't have to be in the center of them; just hit the plates. And I enjoy speed shooting because it's pretty raw. There's no gimmicks. You're not having to mess with props. It's just you versus the timer. That's it.
Right.
We'll add this little tidbit of, because Casey and I have been shooting together for over 10 years.
Yeah.
And back 10 years ago, when you would shoot Steel Challenge, you would just shoot as fast as you could, but that meant a lot of pickup shots on plates. And it was just ting, pa, 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 ting, pa, pa, pa. But now, as your shooting has matured, you can step up and go 1 for 1. Mature. I'm very mature.
Very mature now.
But it was such a progress, you know, and it was neat to watch it over the years of just going blazing fast.
But I had a lot of fun.
If you miss. I
had a lot of fun too.
And then now you can step up and still be just as fast as they go 1 for 1.
Yeah.
I taught him that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think everybody wants to help you with a name, Casey. We've got a couple people.
Let's hear it.
So Joel saying Filipino Texas.
I like that.
You like that one? And then John's going with.
I really like that.
If you have a name, if you have a name for Casey, you just take a cowboy action. We'll throw it up here on the screen.
We have to come up with a cowboy handle for me before the end of tonight.
There we go. That's the game.
Like a solid one.
Yes, please.
Okay.
And so Jessie, I mean, very kind of similar, but instead of being, I mean, you shot over 5 different disciplines. I mean, 2014, first female to achieve the Grand Master. I mean, you guys, I think cumulatively have hundreds of world and national championships. So were you more of a want to try all things before I find what I really want to narrow in at, or just how it happened?
So my dad originally started shooting in IPSC, and that was before USPSA was here. And then he went to cowboy action shooting because, like I said, he's a cowboy at heart. So when I started, that's what he was competing in. So naturally, that's what I started in. And then as I saw I can't make a living here and was introduced to Still Challenge and then USPSA multi-gun, the more modern disciplines, was when I started to transfer over to those. And I started in Still Challenge and actually shot my single action revolvers for 2 years in Still Challenge. If you want to talk about hard, that was probably one of the most difficult things, other than Bianchi Cup.
Because if you miss, you have to take your other gun.
Yeah, you have one extra shot. So if you have more than one miss, you have to holster to a leather holster and then get the other one, transfer hands, and keep going.
That's iron sights with a revolver.
Locking
with
the handle every time. Oh, hey, Kyle.
Kyle! With plates
7 to 40.
No, 45 back then.
No, it was 40 then. It's 35 now. But it was extremely hard. So that was very short-lived, 2 years. Then I tried multi-gun along with Still Challenge just because it was an easy transition for pistol, rifle, shotgun, different versions of pistol, rifle, shotgun. And then tried my hand at USPSA and also at Bianchi Cup. And I quickly found I did well in all of those, but it was very taxing to train to the level that I wanted to be prepared for all of those disciplines every single year. So multi-gun dropped away very quickly just because there's so much that goes into it, so much gear to travel with. And I kind of figured my sponsors are more geared towards handgun at the time. So that was just the path I chose. And then with Bianchi Cup, I love shooting that match. It's very challenging and teaches you so many great qualities as a shooter. But it's hard to train for if you don't have that set up in your backyard to go be competitive, because the top lady shooters and male shooters in that sport, that's all they shoot. They're not spread thin on other divisions. So whereas when you could show up and shoot a 19-0, like a low 1900 score and do good in ladies, Sherry Blake and some of the other ladies, they're now shooting 1916, 1912. I mean, you've got to show up and shoot.
1920 is a perfect.
Yeah, 1920 is
a perfect score. Yeah.
I know Sherry Blake has shot a 1920 in Australia where she's from. I don't think she's done it at the Bianchi Cup yet. She will. But so I realized I don't like to show up and participate. And I felt underprepared, and that's what was happening. So now I mostly just shoot Still Challenge and USPSA or IPSC. And that's kind of where I've found my home, where I do the best.
So you guys do have, regardless of what shooting discipline or what you're focusing on now, you do kind of have one very strong similarity. You love red dots, right? I mean,
yeah.
We're up on
that's the best.
So, what would you say if somebody's watching right now and they're going, "Oh, red dot, I don't know." What would you say to, "Hey, go give it a try"? Why would you push somebody that way?
I mean, why wouldn't you? You're going to be faster. You're going to be more accurate. You're going to be more confident. So if I gave you enough time to train with it, you would see after a certain amount of time with that red dot, you'd be so much more proficient than you would be with iron sights.
Yeah.
You're looking, through infinity to this red dot, where with iron sights, you're having to focus on three things: front sight, rear sight alignment, and then also your target. With a red dot, you're putting that red dot where you want it precisely, finite sight picture and good trigger press, and you win.
It just makes it shooting so much easier, especially for beginners.
And faster.
Because trying to explain to someone the sight picture of what they should be seeing, what should be in focus, what's not in focus, and knowing that they understand that, it's a challenging thing within itself, even while you're trying to learn to shoot. So having a red dot on there just makes it so much easier. And it's just the natural evolution of where the shooting sports are going.
Yeah.
Or just firearms in general.
I mean, you don't really see rifles without an optic. When's the last time, unless you're shooting service rifle, when's the last time you've seen the military not use?
That's my girl back home.
Hashtag dot live. So yeah, some fellow.
We got some First Strike 2.0s. Yeah.
But to go back on my point, when's the last time you've seen a military rifle without an optic?
Yeah.
It's crazy. And soon, I've been saying this for the last decade, soon you'll see pistols come with red dots, and kind of phase away from the iron sight only on a pistol.
So you guys have competed against a lot of big names under, some very intense competitions. And I kind of have my own guess as to who, answering this in my head when I was thinking of this question, but who is it out there that either just you maybe don't want to end up competing against, or you hope you do, because it's that constant kind of rival and friction, and together you guys are, pushing each other harder. I'm pretty sure I know Casey's, just because, social media and who he tends to call out a lot. I'm not sure on Jessie. Who's Jesse's really gunning for? So
you go first, since he has an idea.
Yeah, who is it?
I think it's Max Michelle.
Oh, nice. We have.
I mean, you have a friendly rivalry, but you two are always driving at each other.
We're always going heads up, and we have a great rivalry going. I mean, we're still friends. Rivals on the range, but off the range, we're still good friends. And I mean, we text each other here and there just to make sure that everyone's good. I texted him a few days ago just to make sure he's okay, and vice versa. When
you were on the AMU together, so y'all have a long history.
He was my sergeant in the AMU, and he took care of me, and I think I gave him a lot of good tips that helped him in his shooting career as well.
Back
and forth.
Yeah, I definitely met rival in the nicest sense of the words. I mean, I want to win, so I wasn't implying that there was some sort of hatred or behind the scenes going on.
Yeah, I'd say him, and there's a few other guys out there that are really good, like a JJ.
JJ, that was my second.
Yeah, he's like a big brother to me, but I could do anything. I could probably kick him right square in the shin, and he would still.
He'd laugh.
Yeah, he'd laugh and not be mad at me.
That's funny.
And that good belly laugh, good heart laugh.
Oh, when we get together, it's bad.
It is so funny watching them. They're like two kids, and it's like, who can make each other laugh the hardest?
Yeah.
Some of the stuff
we want tears coming out of our eyes when we're on the range. Yeah. Like, it's a good time. It's a really good time.
And then Max is over on the side. And
serious.
He's laughing, but he doesn't pitch in.
But he's serious about it at the same time.
Yeah. Laughing as hard as he can.
Yeah.
So what about you, Jessie?
So
who are you thinking?
So the competitive pool for ladies changes every so many years. We'll have some ladies come in, then they go, and new ones come in. And so for open, for the longest time, there were some, I had a couple of friends that I would compete against anywhere I went. That would be Sloan Sanders or Tina Lee, or there's a couple of female shooters that aren't around anymore. But right now, there's two sisters that are on the scene, Jaleese and Justine, and they have just done so well. And those are probably my top competition when I go somewhere. And I mean, when you see young kids start out as young as they were, sometimes you think, okay, because they went really hard. And sometimes you think, okay, well, they might get burnt out. Hopefully not, because they had a lot of natural talent. But they've done a great job staying in the sport and training hard. I think they just signed with Colt recently. So those are probably the two biggest competitors in any division that I would choose to shoot within the U.S. Outside of the U.S., I will not shoot production because of Maria. I don't know how to say her last name.
Bushnell.
Yeah. She is probably hands down the best female shooter in the world.
Yeah, she's outstanding.
And I will never shoot production outside of the U.S. because of her.
So when you guys aren't shooting, I know you found yourself kind of branching out and doing new things. I mean, Casey, you seem to have grown an addiction to this thing called hunting that Jessie was doing way before you were. So what's going on there, man? Are you just slobbering at the mouth for fall and to be able to get out and do things, or what's going on?
Okay, let me give a little example of what our conversations are like. Oh, hey, what do you feel like doing today? Oh, babe, I was searching online last night while you were asleep on YouTube. There's this hunt in Turkmenistan, Pakistan, that we can go climb a sheer straight face mountain face and sleep on the ground and just, I'm like,
it's true.
On.
It's me talking.
Yeah, he talks at me. I just got to
She's like, oh, okay.
Turn it off. But
oh yeah, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with hunting.
Yes.
Like I do research. I do my research, and then I write down what years I want to do a certain hunt. I found. Yeah. Speaking of which, I found a mountain goat hunt in Alaska for $8,000. That's a great deal because it's usually double that price. So I might have to put some money down to go up there and go crush a mountain goat.
Along the rest of your bucket list for
and my soul and my soul.
And just a couple other days, you guys were doing a little hunting together. I would call it more foraging or hunting, but
hunting, catching, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So for those who might not know, if you go to, I think, both of your guys' Instagram pages, you can see what we're talking about. But you were kind of down there in the swamp getting dinner, or what were you doing exactly?
Yeah. So the trip started off as a turkey trip, and we found two gobblers, but they just weren't cooperating with us. They were henned up. So said it's all good. We'll just go out and try something else. So the guys we were with took us out on a boat, and we were on a big break, and
like a cypress slough. It was like a slough off of the Mississippi River. It was a 1,200 acre slough. Yeah. Cypress trees all around. It was beautiful.
Trees everywhere.
But
it turned into
pitch black.
It turned into a frog catching night, and we were out there for about 3 hours. We would catch everything. If it wasn't big enough, we'd throw them back in. But we caught some big bullfrogs.
We caught 25 bullfrogs.
Wow.
Yeah.
And when they said let's go bullfrogging, I thought we'd be gigging.
No.
But apparently it's illegal. Which everyone I say that's illegal in Mississippi, they're like, Mississippi is the most outlaw state there is. It's not illegal. But I don't know. So now you have to just catch them, and we put them in a cooler on ice, and then clean the process them later. But when you grab one, they take their back feet and try and push out. And I hate grabbing things with my hands anyway. It just grosses me out. I hate it. So I had a glove on, still nervous. I think you can even see me just like, ugh, right before I grabbed him. I grabbed him, and he put his feet up here and pushed out, and I just slung him. I was such a girl. Woo! I was such a girl on that first frog grab.
That's awesome.
But then I rallied back. And
it is so fun. Absolutely a blast. And we got a bunch of frog legs ready to fry up. So we're excited.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. That'll be a good meal. So I have a couple questions prepared. I know that we're going to open up to some Q&A. So if anybody's just tuning in, we've got Casey and Jessie. They're going to open up some Q&A. So if you've got a live question, to throw it in the comment. There were a couple I wanted to scroll up. Harrison rather was curious about getting into the marksmanship unit. So Casey, you got any suggestions on what he needs to do? He kind of asked about that, and then we'll find his next question. He said, do you need to be an 11B to be an AMU, or can you give anybody some suggestions on where they should go get more information if they want to join the Army Marksmanship Unit?
Yeah, I would contact whoever their NCOIC is, their non-commissioned officer in charge, and see if they can go out to try out. So some of the things they're looking for is someone who's been around and been shooting quite a bit, has a few victories under their belt, has made a name for themselves within the practical shooting sport. And then I'd go from there. I think I'm not sure if they still hold junior camps because they used to use the junior camps to look for future prospects. But you can maybe even go through the AMU channel, the Army Marksmanship channel, and try to reach out to their CEO or whoever's in charge of training and see, hey, I'd love to try out, or I'm very interested in joining, and see how that goes. As far as 11 Bravo in the Army is a infantryman. It's the fastest way, because once you go into Fort Benning, home of the infantry, you can go straight to the AMU. But personally, if you wanted to, I would pick a career choice that you could use in the future, like medic. Take some of that into the real world. If you were to get out of the Army, then you have some more life skill and life experience that you can use for a job when you get a little bit older. But it's up to you. I mean, 11 Bravo is cool. They're all great jobs. Just take something that, or pick something that you can use in the future to help further yourself in life.
Gotcha. All right, we got another fellow teammate. Wanted to give you guys a shout out.
Hi, Maggie.
Miss you.
So one of my questions I've been asking everybody is, do you guys have a luxury item during quarantine? Was there something you purchased maybe before, or something that you have now that you're just going, man, I'm so glad we have this? Whether it's you upgraded your Wi-Fi, as Waddell talked about, his Firewire or whatever his papa called it. But is there something you guys have just been like, man, we gotta have it?
No, not really. I mean, we had everything we needed. I think there's luxury items that I don't have, or things I would do that I'm desperately missing. A manicure and pedicure. Okay. That is my one thing. Stop it. That as soon as I feel safe to go outside, I feel sorry for the person who's going to get these hands and feet, but I am going to enjoy every minute of it. That and go to the Mexican restaurant for cheese dip.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. We've got a dehydrator, and we can put anything in there.
Okay.
Venison. Fruits. You can do strawberries, bananas, apples.
We've been meal prepping for all of quarantine, drying everything in the house.
Yeah. I really love doing that. I think that's really fun.
So if you guys are tuning in and you have a question for Jessie and Casey, throw it up in the comments. I'll try to get to them. I might miss a couple, so I'll apologize in advance. But if you have something you've been wanting to ask these two shooters, otherwise I'll fire off with a couple more. And then we've got a little game we wanted to play with the two of you. Now, I don't think I'm dropping any industry secrets. You guys are a couple. I'm not. This is the first, right? You're a couple? Okay. Didn't know if parents are the first time listening. I didn't want to spoil it for somebody if they didn't know. So we thought of a little game we could play to kind of maybe get to understand this kind of power couple a little bit better. And I think it'll be a lot of fun. And for you at home who might be watching, this is something that you can to play with your significant other, whoever you're quarantined with. All the questions might not exactly apply, but those who do, well, we're going to change it up a little bit. You guys have an adult beverage with you? Are you prepared in some fashion? Okay. Right. So when we play the game, if the answer is you take a drink. Pretty simple. Okay. So that's how we'll do it. So let's see if we got any more questions, and then we'll maybe dive into this a little sooner rather than later.
I'm curious what the questions are.
Oh, don't you wait. I'm
really nervous about the questions now.
Everybody's nervous about the questions. So Harrison's got a question for you guys. I think it's pretty applicable. Holographic magnifier combos. What did you guys feel on running a magnifier behind your red dots?
I like it. Depending on if you're
I've never used it, so I wouldn't be able to answer that.
If you're joining the military, it's great, especially if your unit recommends you using one. You've got the capability of all that in one swing, if you will. You can shoot close quarters with just your holographic red dot, and then you can swap over and hit your magnifier and shoot something from 100, 200, 300 meters away. So it's nice for all those applications. If you're not wanting to use just one magnified optic and have a throw lever on there, you're just throwing it quick. And I think in a combat situation, I think it's great.
Another name you guys might be familiar. Alex is.
What up, Alex?
Alex is curious if you guys are thinking about trying your hand in PRS or getting a little 3-gun in. If you have any desire to.
We're both doing PRS.
Oh yeah,
I'm shooting the Bushnell Brawl with Missy this year if they still have.
That's so great. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah.
I'll shoot it too with Jim, her husband. So we'll have a blast.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. That is awesome. You guys will have a lot of fun on that. Any apprehensions about that? I mean,
I'm embarrassing myself. It's not really a big deal.
I love to hunt, and I hunt with rifles, but my comfort zone is 300 yards and in.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a huge learning curve for me, but I'm going to team up with Missy. She's here in Georgia as well, so we're going to have some range days, and I know she'll teach me everything I need to know at the highest level possible. You
guys got some great tutors to get you going for sure.
Oh yeah,
we'll have you well prepared.
Absolutely.
Joel's got a quick question. Says he knows Casey's running a Volkortzen. Jessie, what are you shooting for rimfire?
So I'm shooting the Taurus TX22. That's our new rimfire pistol. We released it 2 years ago at SHOT Show, and it is a great out of the box 22. It's just a polymer frame, double stack 22, and I really enjoy it. It's a great pistol.
Okay. We must have a sleepy crowd today. Not a lot of questions, or else I'm just missing them. So, are you guys ready to kick off this game a little bit? Kind of kick it up. Okay. All right. So here again the rules. If you're playing at home, go ahead and go to the refrigerator now. We'll give you a few seconds to grab that beverage of choice, and then we're going to ask a series of questions for this couple, which we just broke it here live, Bushnell Live.
Heard it here first.
Heard it here first. We got a couple questions, and then we'll go at it. We got some people. Aaron's checking in from Arizona, so if you want to throw out some comments.
Great last name.
Hey, Aaron.
I like that. Hey, Aaron Bushnell. Love it. Sign that guy up. That sounds awesome. Let's see. Okay, so I'll give everybody just a couple more seconds, and then we'll go. So basically, what I'm in. Some people probably played this at a parties or. Just to get the breaking the ice, it's usually a most likely to or who would be, kind of fill in the blank. And then we'll see if we can't maybe cause a little bit of strife under quarantine. So we'll go gentle. All right. So are you ready for the first one? All right.
Ready.
Okay. Who has the better style?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. No.
I'm wearing sweatpants.
I didn't hesitate on that one.
I'm wearing sweatpants.
I have to tell him, put your big boy clothes on when he has to dress.
For those who forget, we just said Casey. That was an easy one. All right. Who's the most emotional?
Go ahead and drink that.
All right. Who's the most mature?
Go ahead and drink that.
Yeah. Guys, I'm gonna be sloshed by the end of this game.
Perfect.
Who's most likely to get into a bar fight?
You need a drink. No.
Both of you. You can both drink. If it's a tie, we don't want to have Jessie passing out on it.
I'm probably more likely to start it and he'll finish it. If my best girlfriend Jackie is with me, then all bets are off.
All right. Who's most likely to fall asleep during a movie?
Before the movie starts.
She's out. She's a world champion sleeper, the best sleeper I've ever met.
Yeah.
Nice. Who's most likely to get arrested?
Probably me.
Yeah.
What would that be for, Casey?
I don't know. Cutting.
I don't know. You need to drink something.
Yeah, it's probably me. Probably speeding. I'm always speeding.
All right. Who's the most likely to swear they saw a UFO?
Oh, me?
You.
Yeah, me. Yeah, me.
Right. Who's most likely to forget to text back?
Me.
You.
I have 50 unread messages all.
Yes, and it drives me crazy. If I see the red bubble on any icon, I have to get rid of the red bubble. His just builds. Yeah.
So you're one of those people where any notification icon just drives you crazy?
Yeah.
All right. Who's most likely to avoid doing a chore around the house?
Oh, me.
This guy.
Who's most likely to be a sore loser?
You. Absolutely.
Oh, God,
you.
yeah.
Her.
So bad.
And I'm a bad trash talker, and I win a lot. So.
Who's most likely to get it?
so bad, but
what was that?
I said when it comes to competition, I can suck it up and be a good competitor. But when it comes to like game night, catchphrase, charades, Monopoly, man, I am a horrible loser.
Beer
on
pong.
Game night. Beer pong. I practiced for beer pong and still lost.
Wait a minute. We might have to stop here. You practiced for beer pong and you still lost.
Still lost. I cannot throw. I have great hand-eye coordination when it comes to shooting, but if you get me to try and throw something, all that
Airball.
It is horrible.
Awesome.
So I am so bad. Yeah.
I just had this vision of you setting up these cups on the kitchen table, and you're just in there throwing ping balls in the middle of the night to try to get.
We didn't even set it up perfect. We said, you know what? Just put the cups randomly and still.
And the guys still won. Jack and I practiced before they got there, and then they got there, and they're just like not even looking, throwing, and I'm like,
I felt like Michael Jordan.
And I have no depth perception, so that
barely even hit the ping pong table. Literally, barely hit the ping pong table. Like, oh
god. All right, back on the game. Who's most likely to get a match DQ?
Neither of us, really.
No.
I refuse to drink.
Yeah.
I refuse to drink on that one.
Neither of us.
Nobody's going to the DQ. Okay. Who's most likely to get a tattoo after a night of drinking on the town?
Her.
Wow. I would have guessed the other way around.
I hate small tattoos. It needs to be 8 hours of pain.
Yeah.
Who's the messier roommate?
Oh, me.
Who's the first to say? Who's the first to say I'm sorry?
Both.
Yeah. I say sorry. I say all the time.
All the time.
He's always having to say he's sorry because I'm always right.
I'm always wrong.
Yeah.
Who's the better cook?
Yeah, her.
Okay.
I grill. She cooks.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. Who's the better hunter?
Oh, her. She's hunted longer. My hunts are harder though.
No.
That was just between me and you. Nobody else heard that. Who's more likely to be running late for a meeting?
Dang it. Me. I'm on Filipino time.
My biggest pet peeve too
is running late.
Yeah.
Who's the better driver?
Oh, me. I gotta drink. Dang it.
Soda water.
Who's more likely to go longer without their phone?
You.
Me.
Yeah.
All right.
Good question.
All right, here's one everybody wants to know. Who hit on who first?
Shoot. Yeah, probably me.
Yeah.
Probably
you.
Me. Yeah.
Drink up. Bottoms up.
Yeah.
I like how I tried to play that one off. Like that was good. All right. Who's most likely to get lost in the woods?
I got great navigation.
There's got to be a story there. Does this happen often or
horrible sense of direction?
Okay.
Miss turns always. If she's navigating, I'm like, all right.
Even with a GPS going.
When's the next turn? It's not for a while. Oh, we missed it. Never mind, we missed it. I'm like, oh my god.
It's so bad. Yeah. It's bad. Even with the GPS, I get lost.
All right. Who's the funnier one?
Oh, me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, me.
All right.
I laugh every day.
And then here's the last one I have. Oh, I got two more. This will be a tough one. Who's the most competitive? I think we already heard that, but who's the most competitive? Oh, wow. Okay.
For sure.
Would have lost my. I'll drink on that one because I would have lost my bet.
Yeah.
All right. And finally, the last question is: who's the better marksman or markswoman in this case?
Oh, her.
Stop! I was gonna you genuinely,
Wait.
Not anymore.
Now everybody wants to know what Casey did wrong that he's buttering her up so good. What did you do? What's he hiding? What?
I said you genuinely.
But I did the right thing.
You said me with a big wink.
Yeah.
I think you, Jessie. I think you might need to check the bank account because I think he might have purchased something that he's.
Ready to run.
Well, that was good stuff. Hope you enjoyed that. That gave me a little bit better idea of who's in this relationship. All right.
Good lighthearted fun.
Yeah. Hit later.
Yeah.
John wants to know if it doesn't know, but tactical tag along. Could that be a good cowboy?
That's pretty good. So Tagalog is the main dialect of the Philippines. So it's tactical Tagalog for cowboy. That's not bad.
I like that.
That's not bad. I really like that.
Okay. So yeah, if you're just tuning in, we need a good cowboy action name for KC. So drop it in the comments below, and we'll do a vote, see which one you get, and then you're gonna have to stick with it, right? You're gonna have to.
Yeah, I have to. I asked for it.
All right. So you guys referenced that you've been shooting together for a long time. Obviously not in the current relationship status that you are now, but there might be something a little bit of flashback.
Oh, look at that!
I love that photo.
We're babies. That was 2010. That's
10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Does that brings back some memories? I can tell, huh?
Yeah. Challenge together.
Yeah.
That was back when it was in Piru.
Yeah.
I missed that place.
In the glory days.
Yeah, the glory days is still challenge.
Yeah.
2010.
Right after that, we were so hyped. I was extremely hyped. It's such a great feeling, to win that championship. And then we shared a rental car, and I was driving. And there's
this long canyon gravel road to get to the range.
It's great for e-brake drifting. So I was driving extremely fast. My dad was behind. My dad and mom were behind us.
In the car behind.
Because we were going to go to a restaurant and go eat. We had like a big group of us going. And I'm going through these canyons, and I'm screaming like, yeah, we won, yeah.
And I love it. I'm laughing so hard.
Oh, yeah. And I overcorrected on one of these little paths, and it gets real shifty on me, and car spin. I hit a giant rock, and the bumper just flies off. I'm like sitting in the car, and then I'm like outside scratching my head, and my dad just drives by. He's like,
his dad was so mad. His dad was so mad because I was in the car with him.
Not because of
him.
Because of
but because I was in the car with him. Yeah. That was our victory lap.
It was a rental.
It was my rental, though.
Yeah, it was.
I think Trace might be, he might be on it, but he said, Jessie said you don't age. I don't think either one of you have aged much. That looks pretty similar on there. So
I've got a heavy filter on right now.
So there is one more photo I have to show, because this one's always one of my favorite, because I think it spurred a lot of copycats maybe in some way. And so Casey, I thought maybe you could tell us exactly what's going on in this photo. What is going on in this photo, man? What is going on?
In 2011.
You were out of the Army.
Yeah, I was out of the Army, and that's actually in the southern island in Mindanao. This is like a dangerous island, but I was ripping and tearing, and there's this part in this stage where instead of going around an obstacle, I jumped through the ripping and the tearing. And if you look real closely, there's an alpha on that target, like dead center. I was like, oh man, that's bad. But yeah, just the infamous jump shot.
You had to point that out.
Oh yeah. You gotta make sure the accuracy is still there. But
that's a great photo.
That's probably one of the cooler photos. Yeah, really good photo.
New meaning to jump shot.
Oh yeah. If I can jump somewhere and shoot at the same time and save some time, I'm gonna do it.
You did it last Open Nationals last year, 2019.
Carry Optics Nationals. Yeah, I've won a match off of it too.
It's his Instagram photo, a jump shot.
Oh yeah. And it's funny because I'll do it, and people will watch and are like, "Oh, I'm gonna do it too." And then the next thing you know, they're trying to do it, and then they're on the floor with.
I would fall flat on my face. I am not that coordinated. I can't even coordinate a stomp pad and shoot at the same time. That is like that is my Achilles heel in shooting. It's having to hit a stomp pad and either keep moving or shoot while stomping. Yeah. I hate it.
Yeah, I love that. It's a good photo.
Another good photo, and this kind of, something similar we've been asking all the guests is, we know obviously with everything going on right now, there's a lot of seniors, a lot of people graduating that haven't gotten to get out and really get the recognition they deserve. And so, I've been trying to find some high school photos of people, and I had to admit, you two were very, very, very hard to find any real old photos of. So congratulations, you kept the internet clean. But kind of rephrasing this question around, and so this one's way before high school. But Jessie, if you were going to go back and talk to this young lady, what would you say to her? What would you say to this young lady?
What did you do?
This is a great. This is a good photo. This is a good photo.
The exact same way.
She does.
I do.
That's so
Look
cute.
at that hair.
I love it.
Little comb over. Yeah. That had to be. So that was my brother's T-shirt. I wore all my brother's clothes. That was probably.
How old were you?
I was maybe 2nd or 3rd grade.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So if you're going to give her a piece of advice now, what would you tell this young lady?
I would say fix your hair. It would be number one. And wear girl clothes.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, just keep on keeping on.
Well, I do have to show one more because in this photo, Jessie, I think you did upgrade your hair. No, Casey didn't do this. I promise. Okay. I think this was the chorus shoot, and I was having a hard time which one to show, but I thought this one was good. The hair is on point there, right? Is that what you meant when you said get the hair right?
Yeah. And tease my hair for sure.
You got good trigger discipline. Your trigger finger's not on there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks for being good sports there. We appreciate it. All right. So before we let you go, we've got this kind of I've been calling it a lightning round. So I've got a series of questions. I want you to just kind of give me a quick off-the-cuff answer. Don't try to think about it too much. Just kind of whatever the first thing that pops into your head is probably the right answer. Okay. So we'll play this and then we'll let you go. And then I've got to go grab something for KC because we've got a special gift for him that I'll have to leave screen. So you'll have to wait just 1 minute while I grab it. But all right, here's the lightning round. All right. So just kind of whatever the answer is, just focus in. This is for the $1 million questions. Okay. On your hot dog, mustard or ketchup?
Mustard.
All right. Did Carol Baskins kill her husband?
Yes. Absolutely.
Carol Baskins.
It's okay to pee in the shower, yes or no?
Yes.
And poop.
Ew.
And poop next.
Oh my God. Get out of here.
Moving right along. Okay. Peanut butter, crunchy or smooth? Sorry, that was a follow-up.
Smooth with a V. Smooth with a V.
Smooth.
Okay. So you guys are both hunters. You've been out in the woods. What's the best natural solution for no toilet paper? What are you going to?
A leaf that is not poison.
A leaf. You got to.
Okay. If you're only going to hunt one species for the rest of your life, what are you hunting?
Whitetail.
Sheep.
Okay. All right. Sheep. All right. Just a couple more. All right. If you could invite anybody into your house, they're obviously COVID clean, living, dead, fictional. Who are you guys inviting in to come hang out with you for a little while?
A D-Day U-boat or anyone who jumped into D-Day. I'd love to pick their mind and see what they've seen and survived in World War II.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
What about you, Jessie? Who are you inviting in?
It's so hard.
Probably a Kardashian.
Ew, no. Miranda Lambert.
All right.
So you can sing to me.
On that,
It is good.
This one kind of falls into the next question. If you're going to have anybody come into your house and do a live musical performance, who would it be? You might have just answered that.
Hands down.
Can they be dead?
Sure. Why not?
Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
No, that's mine.
Miranda Lambert.
All right, and this is probably the most important question of this whole thing. You got that secret stash of toilet paper. You go to put it on the roll. Which way is the toilet paper facing, over or under?
It's got to go over and face towards you. So you pull like this.
Yeah.
Over the top. Yeah.
Over. Right. Absolutely.
Congratulations, you guys.
It's a path if you pull from underneath.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, I do have to grab one thing. So you guys entertain all the people watching. Just for 1 second, I'll be right back. Hold on.
Thank you guys for watching tonight. Thank you so much. Hopefully we can do this again in the near future.
What did you do to get a gift?
I don't know. Hopefully it's something cool. Probably a gag gift.
I don't know what I think.
Probably a gag gift. So Jessie's probably going to unfriend me on Facebook after this, and she probably won't talk to me for a while. But if for all those people watching, you might have heard that the Bushnell products are going to be featured in a new game. So we have a very early edition copy that we're gonna be sending out there to Casey. I'm sorry, Jessie.
Hold that up.
You're gonna lose him for a while, I'm afraid.
What's the hunting game we play now?
I play the game. We play Call of the Wild.
Yeah,
the Hunter Call of the Wild. But I've seen reviews on this game.
He's been wanting that one.
Oh, I've been watching it. Oh, it looks so good.
We'll get you a copy. So it's coming out this summer. I think all the major game consoles, PC, the Nintendo. I think it'll more than I know. I'm not a gamer, so I can't name it all about it. But you can find out more about it on the Hunting Simulator 2. I know we made a couple posts on it. We'll get you a copy on it on there.
That game and use all because I was excited because they said Bushnell products.
Yeah.
If I stream that game, will Bushnell sponsor a stream for me on Twitch?
We'll talk about that.
Yeah! Oh, it's so cool. So much. Right. I'm so happy.
I thought that might make one happy and one mad. So
really excited. Thank you so much. Heck yeah.
So guys, we really appreciate you taking some time to come visit with us for a little while. Definitely letting people get to understand the couple that you guys are. Hope you had fun.
We did.
We definitely started this because we know we're all living in some very uncertain times right now, and we could all use a little bit more, let's say, humor, as my dad would say, jocularity in this world. And hopefully we'll all be able to get together sooner rather than later and get back to what we were doing. But we certainly at everybody at Bushnell appreciates everybody who's out there on the front lines, from the first responders to the people working the grocery stores. I mean, the list goes on and on. So we certainly appreciate and want to give credit. And thank you, everybody who's doing what they can to keep this nation going. We certainly appreciate it. And I know both of you guys feel the exact same way. So it's
thank you so much. Everyone out there working hard and keeping things open for the essentials, and we appreciate you.
And as we unfortunately, started off this show, for those who would like to give to the Moser family, once again, there's down there at the bottom of your screen, lots of great organizations that have stepped up. In particular, here at the Overland Park Police Officers Association and Mike's local group. So feel free to give as much as you can, and I know the family would be appreciative of it. So we certainly thank everybody that's doing what they can in that ordeal as well. So but guys, we hope you enjoy the rest of your quarantine. We hope it's over sooner rather than later, and let me know how those frog legs taste. I'm curious to see what the recipe is. And if anybody's got any questions that we missed I apologize. We'll do our best, and hope you guys, everybody, will join us next week. We got a little bit of a mystery guest, I think, coming on next week, so I don't want to give too much away. We're seeing if it'll work within the schedule, so I don't want to promise something and have it not come out, but we're going to try our best. But and if you didn't catch this broadcast, we'll have it airing on our YouTube channel. You can go over there and you can watch this interview and the three before it. So we appreciate everybody for tuning in. Everybody stay safe out there, and have a good evening.
Be safe, everyone. Thank you.